We're coming to Chag Purim, so Bezat Hashem, let's talk a little bit more about the issues of the holiday. So one thing which is important is that the Chazal were metaken, the rabbis, that we have to say Hanissim on Chag Purim. When do we say this? In the Amidah and also in Birkat Hamazon, right? Two things. So, but it has its own rules, so we have to understand how the rules work. We have to a little bit get into a little bit. One thing I want to tell you first of all is that do we mention Purim on Ala Mechia Me'en Shalosh? No. Do we mention Purim then? We don't, right? No. Right. We don't mention. So there are two holidays that we don't mention in Ala Mechia. One is Purim and the other one is Hanukkah. We don't mention those two. All the other ones we do mention. Right? Whether it's Shabbat, right, or the Chagim, Shalosh Regalim, or you have what else we got there? Rosh Chodesh, right? Those things we do mention, but we don't mention those two holidays. Question is, why not? You know, what's the reason why these two they don't mention? What, they're like not important? What, they're not chashuv? They're not what? Why do they leave them out? That's the question, you know. So there's one, I think, reason why they left it out is because, you know, the prayer that we put in Hanissim, it's really a long prayer, right? It's pretty long, you know. So can you imagine if we would put Hanissim into the Ala Mechia, the Hanissim would be bigger than the Ala Mechia. So, you know, it comes out to be a little bit imbalanced, you know what I mean? What's the point of doing that? It's too big, you know, for the Ala Mechia, Hanissim. You know, so since they were metaken to do Hanissim, this was the way they did it. So, but, you know, to put in the Ala Mechia, it's too big, you know, it doesn't fit in there. So that's why they didn't put it in there. They didn't bother with that.
But Rosh Chodesh, so it doesn't make, because you can mention Chag HaNukkah or Ba'ala Mechia, you can mention Chag HaNukkah.
Right, but it seems like they only wanted to do Hanissim, you know, these holidays. They didn't want to do it like Bechag Purim Hazeh or Bechag Hanukkah Hazot. They didn't want to do it this way.
All the rest of the Oraita, that's the Rabbanan.
Yeah, that's also interesting what you're saying. You know, that could also be, and that's another reason. Another reason could be, you know, but those two things, you know. But the truth is that in Birkat Hamazon, right, we do mention it's Derabanan, so that doesn't really help you too much. You know what I mean? We do mention it. In the Amidah, we do mention it's only Derabanan. So why not in Ala Mechia? That's the question, you know. That's you know what I mean? Okay, fine, whatever. Right? It's a whole discussion in itself. But anyway, right, we have to say Hanissim, as we said. Very important prayer, you know, to mention the holiday. By the way, let me ask you a question. Do we say Hallel on Purim?
No.
Oh, we don't say, huh?
No.
Why not? Why? It's not a holiday? There was Yeshua, right? There was salvation. So why don't we do Hallel on Purim? Oh, yeah, you're right. He's right. But we have to explain that. You know, what does that mean? How does one come into the place of the other? You know what I mean? We have to understand what that means. So he's right. What he said was, Rabbi Yonatan, he says that because the Chazal said, because we read the Megillah, that's already like Hallel, you know? So it comes in the place of the Hallel. But the question is, how does it really come in the place of Hallel? I mean, you know, it's not exactly the same thing. It's just telling over a story, you know? We're not really praising Hashem over there in the Megillah. So how does it come in the place of the Hallel? Hallel is praise of Hashem. You know? So the truth is, I can answer you a couple of ways. First of all, we praise Hashem in the Hanissim. You know? So also we have that. You know? So we don't really need it so much, the Hallel, anymore. We do the Megillah, we do Hanissim, we have praises of Hashem. So that's enough, you know, Dayenu, right? That's it, right? Enough. Another interesting thing I want to tell you is like this. Did you ever notice, by the way, you know, look at the whole Megillah. Do you see one time the name of Hashem there?
No.
Huh? No, huh? Aye. Why never, the Hashem of Hashem, the name of Hashem is never mentioned in the Megillah? What kind of thing is this? What? It's a secular document? What, Chiloni? What the hell? What's the reason why they don't mention Shem Hashem? So the truth is, you know, it is mentioned. But you have to know what it means, right? What does that mean? They say in the Gemara, Megillah, that every time it says the word Melech, it means Hashem. If it says Melech HaChashverosh, it means Achashverosh. But if it's just Stam Melech, the Melech is Hashem. You understand? That's what it means. So every time it says the word Melech, it means Hashem. But why doesn't it say the name of Hashem? You know, say, right? Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, you know, like, or Elohim, right? Why not? What, you being cheap with the ink? What, you don't have enough ink there? to write the name of Hashem. What's the problem? So you know what the answer is, right? The answer is because at that time it was galut. There was galut there. So in the galut, the thing is, Hashem is hidden. We don't readily see him in the galut. It's hard to find him, like you're looking around, what do you see, you see this, you see Putin, you see Trump, you see Zelensky, but Hashem, it's hard to find Hashem in the Olam Hazeh, in the galut. You have to really look for him,
Everywhere, even in Israel.
Yeah.
You're going to see Hashem in Israel?
Go to the Knesset, where you don't see Hashem so good over there, because there's a lot of kofrim over there, a lot of kofrim. This kofir, right? Every kofir is over there. You don't see the Hashem so much. They're not learning over there Torah. They're learning some laws of goyim. That's what they're doing over there. Goyish laws. You know what I mean? So in the galut, the thing is, Hashem is not so easy to find. It's hidden. Everything is under the radar, under the table. You don't find him so easily. You got to really look for him to find Hashem in the galut, and that's why it's not mentioned. So it's like it was melech. And sometimes we say melech, but he's the melech. That's the way it is. That's why it's not mentioned in the galut. Everything is quiet. So this is the reason why we're not praising Hashem in the Megillah, because it's like he's not there. Like he's hidden. Nistar. You know what they call this, right? The Chazal, they call Hester Panim. Hashem in the galut, he hides his face from us. We don't see him so good. It's not so visible. Hester panim. He hides his. That's what it says, right? In the Chumash. Ani astir panai. Says Hashem says, I will hide my face from them. That's exactly what it says.
The wall.
Huh?
But he's still ruling the world.
Absolutely. But everything is like, quiet, under the table, You don't really see it so good. So this is galut. This is a Megillah. Megillah is galut. That's what it's talking about there. Everything happens, but you don't really see it so good. You gotta really look, with a magnifying glass, to see what's going on there. To see who's running the show. Is it Achashverosh? Is it Haman? You know what I mean? Who's running the world? Hamelech. The Melech is running the world. It doesn't say Hashem, it says Melech. Every time it says Melech in Megillah, it means Hashem. That's the way it is. Look at it and see, right? If you don't believe me. Okay, fine. So anyway, that's the idea. So going back to Hanissim, there are some rules about Hanissim. So what does that mean? That you have to say it in the bracha of the Hoda'ah, the second to last blessing, Hatov Shimcha Unechal Na'el Le'odot. Right? Like, we say it over there, Hanissim. Because this is the place where we thank Hashem. We praise Hashem and thank Him. So they say, that it's not so important to Hanissim. What does that mean? If you forgot to say it, and you finish the whole Amidah, you don't have to go back and do Amidah again. Like sometimes you have to go back and do it again, So this is not so crucial like that. You don't have to go back and do it again. You missed it, yalla, finish it and go weiter, right? Don't go back. So when until which point you don't go back? Once you say, right, Baruch Atah Hashem, once you say Shem Hashem, you don't go back. That's it. Go and finish it. That's it. Come on, right? So, but why don't we do, sometimes we say, right, if you said Baruch Atah Hashem, say Lamdeni Chukecha, which is a pasuk in Tehillim, right? Baruch Atah Adonai, Lamdeni Chukecha. It's a pasuk. So why don't we do it like that? Sometimes we do this. So it says the Rav Achidah, Alav Shalom, he says over here you shouldn't do it like that. What's the reason why? So he says, because since this is not so crucial, it's not so important, and there's a machloket, by the way, between the Rambam and the other Rishonim, whether this actually works when you say Lamdeni Chukecha. According to Rambam, it doesn't work, this thing. It's no good, lo tov. Doesn't do the job. So therefore, it says the Chidah, be choshesh for the Rambam, be careful with the Rambam, and don't say Lamdeni Chukecha, just finish it. If you said already Baruch Atah Hashem. But if you didn't say Shem Hashem yet, go back and do Hanissim, no problem. Right? That's what you do, Yeah. Same thing also when it comes to the Birkat HaMazon, right? Once you finish the bracha, Bonei Yerushalayim, you don't go back. That's it, right? Don't go back there. Bonei Yerushalayim. You don't go back. You don't do Hanissim. There are some opinions that say, it says in the Ramah, you can do it with the Rachamans, over there, the Hanissim. You can do it with the Rachamans. But this is not really the place for it. So it's only like a Chumrah, it's Chasidut, You don't really obligate to say it there. So you can do it with the Rachamans if you want Hanissim, right, over there, like we do also on Hanukkah, same thing. But the truth is, once you finish Bonei Yerushalayim, that's it, right? No more Hanissim. You're done with that. You have to do it at the right place. I'm sorry, I didn't say it right. Not Bonei Yerushalayim. Al haaretz ve'al hamazon. We say it over there in the second bracha. Mechila. Right? Al haaretz ve'al hamazon. Second bracha. Once you said Baruch Atah Hashem, that's it. No more Hanissim. That's over.
It's only for one day, yeah, for Purim.
One day. Okay, that's a good thing. You're right. Exactly. You reminded me. The thing is, that our friend Boris, he told us, right, that he said, but there's also second day of Purim, Shushan Purim, which is on Shabbat this year. Do we say Hanissim on Shabbat? The answer is no. Why? Because for us, this is not a holiday. This is not Chag. Chag is only 14th. Where is the Chag in the 15th? In Yerushalayim, right, where the walled cities are. Also in Hamadan, right, in Paras, over there, right, in Persia. They're going to soon bomb them over there. Trump and Bibi, they're going to go and do the job there. Very soon.
What about Tachanun? We're not doing Tachanun on Shushan Purim.
No.
We don't do Tachanun. Right. No, they're doing no Tachanun. But it's not a Chag, for us. We don't do Seudah there. We don't do all these things. So somebody asked, why Hamadan? Because this was Shushan Abirah. You understand? That's where the nest occurred. The nest was over there. So therefore the Chazal said, if you live in Shushan Habirah, where the nest was over there, that's where Achashverosh was, right? His Malchut was over there. Hamadan is Shushan Habirah. So if you live over there, it's just like Yerushalayim. You do on the 15th. You know what I mean? So we don't do on the 15th, we don't do Hanissim on the 15th. We just try to do regular prayers, except one thing, right? Since it falls on Shabbat, we're not going to say Tzidkatecha, we're going to say, right, Yehi Shem. Why? Because it's Shushan Purim. We're not going to say Tzidkatecha. No Tzidkatecha. Okay, good. What else do I want to tell you? Let's talk a little bit about the Megillah itself, right? So the truth is, according to the way the rabbis were metaken, you have to hear the Megillah only in the daytime. The original takana was like this, in the time of Esther, you have to hear the Megillah in the daytime. And then the rabbis of the Talmud also added, to read at night as well. So now we read twice, at night and also in the daytime, because the rabbis added one more at night. So what we do is we're going to do Shechianu how many times? Once or twice? Once. But the Ashkenazi, they do it twice. That's the thing, right? We don't do like that. Don't be Ashkenazi. If you want to be Ashkenazi, you're going to have to, do some conversion. You need to go to the mikveh maybe. I don't know. To do a mikveh.
Also,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Ashkenazim is a reformer?
No, chas v'shalom. Chas v'shalom. Elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chayim. Right? They're all good. Right? It's all good. Everything is good. But each one, right? Kol echad, he has to keep his own minhag. And don't try to jump over to the other side. You know what they say, right? The Americans, they say the grass is always greener on the other side. Don't look to be on the other side. Your side is also very, very good. It's even better. So don't try to jump over there. I'm saying, Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen, Amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben Kashomer, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות ישראל, לפיכך חיבר להם תורה ומצוות שנדון לחפש, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.